Hello, everyone. Now we are moving on to week number 5. Time really flies. We are nearly halfway to the semester. So after week number 5, we're going to have your exciting reading week. I think if you have been working hard, you do deserve a break. I might need a break as well myself. But anyway, as usual, I want to introduce to you about what you can expect for week number 5, and then give you a little bit tips for what you might do for the during the reading week if you want to do some work related to 1022. Okay, let's start with the lecture materials for this week. This week we'll continue with the lecture on the loops. We wouldn't finish that completely yet, but I think we pretty much finish everything that's important. There will be some remaining topics which I will speak about maybe when I release the next lecture at the end of the reading week. I'll do that. Okay, so let's talk about what you should do. You will basically learn about, you'll be introduced about arrays. And I assume that for your week number 5 weekly Java tutorial videos, that one already introduced you to the syntax, semantics, and also visualization of the memory model for arrays. I will assume that I will suggest that you actually watch the tutorial video first before you go on for the lecture. I think that'll be a more logical sequence for you to complete. And then once we introduce to you the ideas about arrays, we're going to talk about a sequence of problems. So I'm going to focus on the problem solving technique which you will pick up at the end. We're going to talk about some basic ones to start with, especially about how you can print backwards. So this is one of my favorite problems to actually solve creatively. Hopefully for each one of the problems, I would suggest, rather than diving directly into the solution walkthrough provided by me, why don't you pause the video after I have described what the problem is, pause the video, launch your Eclipse, and try to program that first of all, right? Maybe take that as a test question if you wish, to see if you can get the right answer. And then you can program utility method and then write some JUnit test, even though the solution is more in the context of console application, but this idea will be the same. Okay, and then towards the end of this week, we are going to learn about the so-called universal versus existential property checking. So for those of you who might be taking a larger course, for example 1019, okay, you may have seen the logical quantification operators, universal quantification versus existential quantification, right? This is universal and this is existential. And what we are talking about in these two parts relates to exactly these two logical operators. So we are really trying to encode something that's logical into the context of programming. If you haven't seen these two operators yet, that's okay. I didn't assume anything. I still try to be very thorough when I spoke about the intuition for the new concept. Okay, and then we're gonna learn about 4 versions in total for each one of them. So there will be 8 versions in total you want to learn. But I try to present it in a very logical way. I didn't try to read off the slides. That's not really my style. I try to really present to you in the way I think that's logical. So hopefully you'll follow without any problem. But if you got any problem understanding lecture, my office door, my virtual office door is always open, right? Just come, and then I'll be happy to help you. All right, and then we got iPad notes as usual with annotations. I would suggest maybe whenever you want to review your notes, look at the iPad notes first and look at the examples I went over there. If there is anything that's not clear enough or anything that's confusing, maybe try to rewatch the relevant parts of the lecture. If you still cannot resolve the confusion, and the best way to do, just talk to me. All right, I'll be happy to help you with the lecture materials, but try to come to me earlier rather than later. I think that'll be better for your learning. All right, and then for this week, we actually got our week number 5 Java tutorial videos. I introduced to you the ideas about arrays, the syntax, the semantics, and also the memory model for the array. I think watch that tutorial first before you actually look at the lecture material. I think that'll be better. Okay. And also for the slides, it's going to be also still the same loops lecture, and it will be from slide 22 to 49 for this week. And please make sure you actually download this latest updates slide. I just updated today, which is Sunday, February 7th. Okay, just make sure you download the latest one. I rearranged the order of the slides and also added some new slides to better explain the concept over there. All right, and then post your question as usual on the Google Doc, or you can simply just drop by the Q&A session without being prepared. That's okay, right? I think I dedicated time really for you, so you can come either prepared or not prepared. Either way is okay, right? I'll be happy to help. And then for the source code, I also updated the source code from last week. I included all the 8 versions about the universal versus existential property checking, so you can take a look and then play with them and then to really see. The code themselves are not really complicated. They're quite simple, only a few lines of code. However, the logic behind could be a bit tricky if that's your first time exposing yourself into this kind of logic coding. So you may just want to use debugger to really help you understand the behavior of the code, or just come to me and I'll speak to you. All right, and then for extra exercises, as usual, I will suggest some videos from Winter 19. I already suggested these videos last week. So until the end of the reading week, if you watch one video a day, I think you will be able to finish them. And then I'm pretty sure that will help you with deeper understanding about the arrays and loops. Okay, but it's optional. It's kind of up to you. All right, I'll leave that to your decision. Okay, and then for the lecture site, as usual, if you check the site regularly, you wouldn't miss anything for the study materials. Okay. So let me now talk briefly about learning objectives and also the milestone for this week. Let's see. So we're going to talk about state condition and also exit condition. So whenever you got a while loop or for loop equivalently, so you got some condition over here. This is so-called a state condition. But we also want to talk about when you actually exit from the loop. So what will be this precise condition here? So either this or either that. So they are the logical opposite or logical negation to each other. It will be quite important for you to be aware of such logical property. So that's why I want to start with the lecture for week number 5 with that. And then we're gonna introduce 3 terms. So computational problems and also data structures and also algorithms. For this course, you don't have many options about data structure. It's only an introductory course to OOP. So you only got the option for array. That's the only data structure you can choose to program with. And especially, for example, integer array, primitive array I'm talking about, not really any library classes. And then for algorithm, you can think about is really the utility method that you have been programming with. All right. And but just use a single slide to summarize all the concept. So hopefully you will you apply them, in your vocabulary as well. All right, and then we'll speak about arrays with declaration initialization. But please make sure you watch the week number 5 Java tutorial videos before you look at the lecture. And otherwise, you might just get lost quite easily. Okay, so over here, I only just try to give you some summary about the syntax. But for the detailed memory model and visualization, you want to look at the tutorial videos. I think they will do a better job explaining there. And we're going to look at some example problems, okay? And I got about 5 or 6 in total this week. So I would say for each one of them, pause the video, listen to the problem description I set, and then try to see if you can program yourself before you look at the solution. And for example, one of my personal favorite is about how to print backwards. If you're given an array over here, typically you know very well how to print from left to right. But now, how do you print from right to left? So that would be one challenge for you if you are still new to programming with the arrays. All right, and finally, this will be the most important takeaway for this week, which is to learn about universal versus existential property checking. Right? I'll leave you to really study the materials, and then if you can ask me any questions during the Q&A or maybe the office hour. Okay. What about milestone for this week? you want to first of all get ready for written test. It's going to happen in a few days. I already posted the guidance for you about a week ago. So please check the coverage and also check the formats, right? And then go over the lecture materials. Then you should be all right. Okay. And then for your lab number 4, although the due date is around the end of the reading week, around that time, but I would suggest you may just want to do this simultaneously as I also posted 3 practice tests for your programming test 2. You may want to consider doing this and also this at the same time. I think the problems in the practice test may be able to help you on completing lab number 4, I believe. Okay, so you may want to consider doing these 2 at the same time, right? All right, and then you want to complete your weekly Java tutorial, week number 5, and then your lecture series. And then if you want to do extra practice, it will be video 2233. And finally, I want to say, reading week is coming up, so you definitely want to take a break. I need to take a break as well. It would be beneficial for our mental health. On the other hand, for those of you who might be behind for the lectures or tutorial videos, I'm not too sure how much you're behind. Maybe you're behind for 1 week, behind for 2 weeks, or even behind for 3 weeks. Either way, I think you really want to take advantage of the reading week to really do some catch up. Maybe you know the materials already. In that case, good for you. You can just skip them. However, if you don't think you really grasp the materials without studying, you really want to catch up. Okay, you're the only one who can push yourself to work hard. I can only give you some friendly reminder. That's the best I can do. All right. Anyway, so off you go for week number 5. That's what I want to say. If you got any trouble as ever, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I'll be happy to help. All right, take care. Happy studying.